you so much for having me here. I am super excited. I hope my audio is clear and my camera is clear. And I cannot wait to talk with you guys later. I'm so excited for the question and answer. I believe we can learn a lot from that. I believe that we can get a lot of value from it. So be prepared with your questions. I can answer anything. Wala po tayong limit. So I'll make sure that maximize natin yung oras natin, yung short time na pagkasama natin ngayon. So let me just pull up my screen so we could start off my presentation. So again, thank you so much kay Renee na in-invite ako dito or having me as a speaker. It's an honor. It's a privilege. So I know you guys, Sunday is the time for rest. Diba? Ito na lang yung time na makapagpahinga tayo. Now we're attending here. But that's my goal. That is my duty right now to give you your money, your time's worth to make sure na you can get a lot from this afternoon, this morning, the Sunday morning. And I know that you can learn a lot from this. So before we actually talk about the secret or the secrets to living a purposeful life, I have a few things that I would like to ask from you guys. First is let us start off our session with gratitude. I've learned in my life that happiness and peace and joy is not something that we can chase afterwards or we wait for them to come. I realized that we can turn into ourselves within us, and then we can actually be at peace or happy or feel joy right now. And that's through gratitude. So be grateful for the chance that we have right now to talk with each other, spend time with each other, and appreciate every single thing that we might learn from this event. Appreciate the moderators, the hosts, the event organizers, your classmates, your peers, your teachers for another sem. Be grateful for the work that you've done. Okay, because honestly, we can get lost from, you know, being where we want to be in the future. We don't actually see that we have grown so much for the past 6 months, for the past year, right? So be grateful. Appreciate this moment. Next is take note. What do I mean by take note? I honestly believe that you came here with a lot of ideas already, a lot of thoughts already. But sometimes it only takes one simple idea that could connect all the dots for you. And so it may come from a lyric, a song, or a quote, a story, an idea, or a thought that I would share. So if anything connects with the things that I'm saying, write it down. I believe that there's so much power in writing things down. If you're not journaling, if you don't have a journal, start journaling because sometimes our memories, most of the time, our memory will fail us, diba? Sabi natin, stock knowledge na lang, di na ako magre-review. That doesn't work. Okay, so take note. If you think that the lesson is important, the idea is important, write it down on any piece of paper. Why does it work? I cannot tell you the science behind it. Mauubos ang oras natin, but I am sure, I'm guaranteeing you that if you put it down, if you write it down, the chances of you remembering it or applying it in your life increases. It becomes more real because it's written down. So if any lesson, any idea you would get from here, write it down. Okay. So I honestly believe that life is a series of moments. It's all there is. Okay. The past, it's already happened. Wala na tayong magagawa dun. The future, we'll never be sure of what's going to happen in the future. But I am sure of one thing, that if we are here right now, then we are alive right now. And life happens in just a series of moments. It's the moment that we receive our grade for, our exam. Kung bagsak ba o pasado. It's the moment that we take that exam. It's the moment that we learn na it's the moment about na they lose someone in their lives, na ayaw na sa kanila nung girlfriend nila or boyfriend nila. It's those kind of moments that change someone's life. And so I honestly believe that maybe this could also be a moment where your life changes, where where your life see now, okay, maybe this idea could actually change my life. For me, it happened when I was hearing a talk from Mr. Francis Kong. I was a high school student back then, and I attended this one seminar. And of course, having webinars like this, I know might be some of you guys are already exhausted from the online meetings and such. And for me back then, attending that seminar was just a normal thing to do. I was required to go there. So I went there, and he went on to give this amazing speech. And at that moment, when the talk was finished, I said to myself, I want to be like that one day. I want to be able to inspire other people. Now, how? I'm not sure, right? And of course, life happens. Hindi naman pag sinabi mo na ganyan ako, automatic magtutulong-tulong, the experiences or the life will help you out to achieve that. Sometimes kabaliktaran pa nga yung nangyayari in a context of the present self. But that was the moment for me that it planted an idea that I could become a motivational speaker, or at least a keynote speaker, that I could inspire other people. Okay. So as I've said, it can be just slimmed down, it can be trimmed down to just one moment that changes your life forever. So during the talk that I will be giving today, you might find a series of moments where you will find that aha moment. Now, okay, this idea is really good. Let me just research, put it on the side, write it down, think about it, ponder about it a little while, maybe later, maybe tomorrow, give it a week. Just think about it, and maybe it could lead you to have or live a purposeful life. So before I actually go on and talk about my journey and my experience, let me just share with you some things that I have been able to accomplish for the past year. For some of you guys who don't know me, who's the first time who saw me today, my name is Alec Cuenca. I am the host of the podcast Small Talk Podcast, and I have over 1.2 million. That's a typo. 1.2 million followers on social media, mostly on TikTok. So if you see me on TikTok, if you know me from TikTok, hi. And I also been able to garner 480,000 episode downloads, which is a lot in the podcasting industry. And because of that, I was also able to rank on the high top charts of the podcast, Spotify podcast charts, and Apple podcast charts. Recently, I've been able to the highest being at number 2, which is really crazy because I just started podcasting back in 2019. And back in I was also been able to work with different brands such as Asics, Globe, Kumu, and I was able to talk to a lot of schools. This is my 25th talk for the year, just by the year, and I'm really blessed to been able to share my experiences and my knowledge with a lot of people, a lot of young people who are also starting with the same journey as I'm starting, as I have started before. Now, let me share with you a little bit of my story before we talk about pursuing your passion or finding your purpose in life. As I've said, that moment came where I planted the seed of me being a speaker when I saw Mr. Francis Kong. He said, whatever you do right now will affect your future. Wow, very very profound, very deep, right? But as you know, as a normal kid, as a young naive kid, I didn't think of it like a very serious quote. Like it's just a quote. We hear that every single day. But I was really inspired. And though I took down note, and then I wanted to take a picture with him, but the crowd was it was getting really crowded, and I wasn't able to get a picture with him. And I said one day, I said back then, I one day I will be able to take a picture with him. And spoiler, I haven't. It's still my one of my life goals to take a picture with him. But I did message him one time, and I said to him, Mr. Francis Kong, you are the reason why I started pursuing a career in speaking. I just want to let you know that every people that I touch is also because of you. Then he responded. He said, you're really sweet. You're really kind. Thank you for the nice words. He appreciate it. So, at least we had that conversation because I'll never know, what's going to happen in the future. So at least that part's, covered up. But looking back, I could easily remember the times that I was just like you guys. I was studying. In fact, just last year, I was still studying. Backstory, I grew up here in Olongapo City from Zambales. And I grew up in a not so typical household. I'm not, and we didn't, we, I wasn't born in a rich family. More likely, between the lines, the border lines of a poor family and the lower income family, or the lower middle class family. We were living on paycheck to paycheck. We were living with a lot of issues, and I grew up with my mother having to go abroad and work as a casino dealer, and I was left here with my father. And my father had a lot of issues. He wasn't the best father that I could have. He had a lot of issues that he was dealing in back then. He was addicted to, drugs, gambling, and alcohol. And sometimes he would even hurt me physically, not just emotionally, not just verbally, but also physically. And there was this one time that I said to myself, "Now, okay, this is enough. I don't want this anymore." So naglayas ako. Lumayo ako. I went to my aunts and I was grateful enough. I was blessed enough to have my titas to take me in and sila na kumupkop sa akin. So that was a really hard moment for me because I had to leave my two brothers with my father. But I know, looking back now, I realized that if I hadn't do that, if I hadn't, gone through that moment, hindi siguro magbabago yung papa ko. Fast forward right now, he's doing pretty well. He's doing really good. Malayo na siya sa mga vices and addictions niya before. And so for me, I went through a very emotional childhood, as maybe some of you guys can relate. And then I went to high school. In high school, it was kind of better compared to the childhood moments because in high school, I met my first love. I met the person, the woman, the girl that made me feel and understand what love means. So at first year, okay, I fell in love at a very young age. At age of 13, I had my first girlfriend. So not promoting that, guys. Study, please. Pag muna. But at age 13, I fell in love at a very early age. And it was a very fun experience. We went through high school together, having a partner, having someone to be there, and having someone to be there as we learn about life. In high school, we basically form our image, our structure of what the world means or how the world works in those phases, right? So I had this girl with me. She basically taught me everything that I needed to learn in becoming a casual or at least a presentable human being. She taught me kahit dun sa how you would respond sa labas, how you would talk sa labas, how would you handle these kinds of situations. She taught me that. Like she's very smart. She's very witty. I think that's the reason why I fell in love with her. But and so after 4 years, we were about to graduate, and that is the time that it became very tricky, because she wanted to go to UST, study pol sci, and for me, I didn't know what I wanted in life. I didn't know what program I would take. I didn't know how to become a speaker back then. I really didn't know. So I tried applying sa UST because UST din nag-apply or dun siya pupunta, yung girlfriend ko back then, sa UST. So I applied UST, hindi ako natanggap, hindi ako nakapasok ng quota. So nung hindi ako natanggap, my mother saw an ad. My mother saw an ad from Mapua, and it says, "Be an engineer in 4 years." Wow, that's really nice. It's a scam, by the way. No, just kidding. Well, but so I went there. I tried to become an engineer. At age 16 years old, I was sent from Olongapo to Manila to live all alone by myself. You know, wander the streets of Quiapo and the scary nights at Manila, living alone, stepping out of my comfort zone, learning more about the world, learning more about life. And it was a very nice time because, you open this new world, you open this new opportunities. But even then, my life was tied with my girlfriend back then. So, pagkatapos ng uwian, imbis na nag-aaral ako, pumupunta ako sa kanya, basically, umikot yung buhay ko sa kanya. So, after 4 years, she was about to graduate. She wanted to break up out of nowhere. And me at that time, I had a very hard time back in Mapua. In fact, the first term when I went there, I said to myself, I love it. I love math. Might be. Pwede naman tayong mag-engineering na lang. When I went there, I was rewarded with 2 failing grades at my first term ever. I failed at basic algebra and basic trigonometry, the most basic subjects, the most fundamental subjects in engineering. I failed them. And so at that moment, all the doubts and fears and all the imposter syndrome, all the negativity, that's where it all started. I started losing confidence. I didn't have any friends in Mapua. I was a loner back then. And then fast forward 4 years, she was about to graduate college, and I was still like second year or third year because I had a lot of failing subjects. And out of nowhere, she wanted to break up. And that broke my heart. I didn't understand why. I couldn't, you know, I couldn't understand why. But when that happened, I did what every other naive young student would do. I destroyed my life even more. I dropped out of Mapua. I spent my times drinking, not sleeping right, not eating right, not taking care of my body. Spent time with friends that I don't even like, hating the world, hating God for what is happening with my life. And I became very depressed. At the age of 20, in fact, I even plotted to end my own life. And so when I planned I planned all of it. Sabi ko, wala na akong purpose sa buhay. Wala na akong plano, wala na akong papatunguhan. Ayoko na. Hindi ko na alam. Sobrang gulo-gulo na ako. Wala na akong makapitan. Hindi ko nakilala yung sarili ko. I didn't have a purpose. So as I was planning it, I was sending out messages, goodbye messages. As I was on my way to go to this place where I planned it initially, I said to myself, well, if I'm going to end my life tonight, might as well give life another chance. So I opened my cell phone, and when I opened, I saw all of the messages from my friends and my family reaching out, trying to find me, all their messages. And wala pang isang minuto, my mother was already calling. And when my mother called, she just said, Nak, uwi ka na. When I heard that, I snapped out. I said to myself, this is wrong. What am I doing? This is wrong. What am I doing? Then I broke down. I cried. I was left in tears. And I kept on saying, Ma, I'm sorry. I'm coming home. I'm going back. Don't worry. So I went home. And when I got home, I said to myself that I'm going to hit the reset button. My life starts right now. The past, it's not important. Whatever happened in the past, that's not a prediction of my future. So I said to myself, I will make sure that I will prepare myself for whatever's going to happen in my life. And so when I was doing that, I went back to Mapua. I shifted to another program, something that I liked more. And then instead of me, spending time with some of my friends and playing computer games, playing League of Legends and Counter Strike and all those games, watching, playing basketball and all those stuff. What I did is every time the bell rang, that I didn't have any more classes, I went to the library and I studied about psychology. I studied about management, leadership, business books, self-improvement books, anything that could add and improve my life. I studied them every single day. I went to the library and studied them. In fact, a lot of people thought that I was, a helper, an assistant in the library because I spent most of the time there. In fact, and I think my friends were the people back then who were part-timing sa library because I spent most of my time there. And I really just wanted to improve myself day in and day out. I read a lot of books. And I also started my passion project. I started vlogging. Everybody wants to be a vlogger back then. I started vlogging and I started the podcast. And for me, I said to myself that I'm not the only one who goes through this stuff. There's a lot of people out there, especially young students, especially or even my age. A lot of people in my age that are going through the same struggle that I'm going through, and they don't have someone to remind them that it's okay not to be okay. They didn't have someone to remind them that you got to keep going. And so that's basically the purpose of my podcast. I said to myself, I want to be that reminder for them. I want to share my story so that they could be reminded to keep going. And started my podcast. Now 4 years after, 2 years after, I'm now here in being one of the top podcasts here in the Philippines, which is surreal because I didn't really plan on doing this. I just really wanted to help people. And I think if you can get the essence from that story, there's two lessons that you can get. Number one is that anything is possible. If you have a dream, you got to protect it. You might not get it in the way that you expect it, but if you have a dream, you can make it happen. Second, the success in any region in your life starts when you give value to other people. How are you helping the world become a better place? Or at least, are you helping one person in the actions that you are doing? Because if you are helping one person, you are already successful. So, we get let's now talk about finding one's purpose. We get to hear this phrase a lot of times. Pursue your blank, right? What's the most common thing that people say nowadays? Like pursue your passion. Yeah. Yeah. And sabi ni Jude, sabi ni Robin, sabi ni Jamie, very passionate. Yes. A lot of people are saying that. Pursue your passion. That's cute. But one thing that I've realized that this phrase is faulty because I've seen a lot of people, especially my friends and the people that I worked with, that I've coached with, is that they're doing the thing that they love. Okay. But let's define what first is passion. First is a passion is something that you're good at. So if, for example, you're good at math. So maybe your passion is in engineering. Maybe you're good at drawing. Maybe your passion is in architecture or design. Maybe you're good at coding. Maybe your passion is in IT or computer science or anything. Or if you're good at music or playing basketball, maybe that's your passion. If you're good at speaking, just like me, maybe that's your passion, right? So something that you're good at. And secondly, passion is something that you love doing. Makes your heart beat faster, makes you excited and anxious about things. Something that you want to talk about to people. You'll enjoy researching about. You'll enjoy talking about and doing. And most importantly, you'll enjoy sharing to other people. That's your passion. You've seen it, right? Minsan may mga times na kahit sobrang babaw, when our friend is really passionate about that thing, talagang gigil na gigil siya sa pagkwento, talagang feel na feel niya yung pagkwento, sa ginagawa niya, andun yung puso niya. Hindi lang utak, pati puso niya andun. Kasi that's something that she or he is passionate about, right? So that's your passion. But I saw from observing a lot of people and studying a lot of people that even if you're doing your passion, it can lead to a passion burnout. It can lead to a passion burnout. It can lead you having midlife crisis, quarter life crisis, 30-year-old crisis, or alam mo yun, magkaroon ka ng pivot sa buhay mo. Maguguluhan ka pa rin sa buhay mo. Kahit you're doing the thing that you love. I realized that passion or pursuing your passion shouldn't be the goal. It's a faulty equation. Instead of us trying to find, no, don't get me wrong, by the way, passion is very important. Passion, in fact, is the first, it's the first part of achieving your purpose. Understanding your passion, understanding your strengths, understanding the things that you love doing. That's the first part. Okay. But if we think about it, we will see that passion is for ourselves. Something that we enjoy doing, something that we love doing, something that we're good at. It's more of a self-centered approach. That's your passion. More of an inward approach. And as I've said, passion is very important because passion is still a why, right? If someone asks you, why are you doing it? Why are you doing this? Why are you waking up in the morning? Why are you studying for that exam? Because my passion is in this. This is my passion. Why are you training so hard? Why are you practicing every single day? Because this is my passion. Oh, that's a why, yeah, right? A lot of people, they don't know why they're doing the things that they're doing. That's why after 20, 30 years old, 25 years old, when they hit that spot, they're going to ask, what's my purpose in life? I'm so lost right now. The reason is because they don't have a why. Now, if you have your passion, you already have a why. But that why is for yourself. Okay. And that's still good. That's still very important in pursuing and understanding what's your purpose in life. But I realized that if we want to make a sustainable a journey towards a purposeful and meaningful life, we need to have a why bigger than ourselves. Hindi lang pala para sa atin. Hindi lang pala sapat na ginagawa natin yung mga bagay na nagpapasaya sa atin. Hindi lang sapat na ginagawa natin yung mga bagay na gusto nating gawin. Our why should be bigger than ourselves. So instead of us trying to pursue our passion, we should instead pursue our purpose. Now, what is the purpose? A purpose, always remember this purpose equation. The purpose equation is your passion plus service. Again, as I've said, passion is a very important factor. You would understand that passion is the starting point. But if we add that passion in serving other people, okay? Again, passion is doing something that you love doing and you're good at. Service is doing something that the world needs. And service, again, is doing something that you can get paid for. If you can combine those four things, that can become your purpose. So find the thing that you're good at. Find the thing that you're good at. Find the thing that you love doing and try giving service or provide service using those skills, using the God-given talent that you have. And trust me, you might say na wala akong passion sa buhay eh. Well, hindi mo pa na-discover. Okay? Hindi sa wala kang passion is hindi mo pa na-discover. Because lahat tayo dito, meron tayong kanya-kanyang strengths, may kanya-kanya tayong weaknesses. And ang dumadating sa point na stress tayo sa buhay natin kasi iniisip natin na kailangan lahat strength natin. Hindi pwede yun. May kanya-kanya po tayong unique strengths and talent na binigay ni Lord. So, kailangan Pag nakita natin yon, mag-focus tayo doon. Or, pag hindi pa natin alam, then we continue to try and try and try things. If we try and try and try, mas makikita natin na, ay, hindi ko pala gusto to. Ay, hindi ko pala gusto to. Ay, hindi ko pala gusto. Hanggang sa mahanap natin yung bagay na gusto natin gawin. Find your passion and then add service to it. So how can we serve? How do we serve? We give without expectations. As I've said, you can get paid if you're doing something, if you're doing your purpose. You can get paid. You will get paid if you're doing your purpose. But for the longest time, for me, what worked is I gave without expectations. I made sure that I was trying to just help and be there for people who needs my message, my truth, my service. And when we learn to give without expectation, life works that way. That it will return everything that you're giving to this world, everything you put out, whether it's kindness or a bad thing, it will return to you 10 times, tenfold. So when we give without expectation, magugulat tayo, bigla nilang babalik sa atin yung lahat. Bubuhos. You're gonna ask me why? I don't know. I am just sure that that's how the world works. Anything that you put out here, you will get it back tenfold. So when we give and give and give, babalik din sa atin yan sa future. Na hindi natin inaabangan, hindi natin na-expect, pero magulat tayo na it just happens that way. We give kahit sa taon to. Hindi man niya mabalik, ma-reciprocate yung ginagawa natin one day, in some way, in some weird way, life will return it to you. So we give without expectations. Sabi ni Zig Ziglar, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. Think about the biggest inspirations that you have. Think about your role models in life. Think about the most successful people in life. They've been able to reach that kind of success because they helped so many people. Steve Jobs provided people with laptops and computers. Mahatma Gandhi helped a lot of people, or fought a lot of people using his words only. He helped a lot of people. The keyword is help. Help them get what they want, and you will get what you want. But as I've said, one soul saved is worth $1 million pesos. A lot of people think that money solves all their problems. If only people could or if only everybody could be rich, they would understand that it's not about that. Life is so much more than that. Life is, in fact, not not based on how much money you get. It's how many people you serve, or you help, or you save. The reason why I kept on going my podcast, I couldn't share it here, but my first 6 months, every single month, I had like 50 listeners. Sa isang araw, meron akong 3 listener. Sa isang araw, meron akong 5 listeners. Sa isang araw, meron akong 8. When I hit that, well, pag naalala ko, I could vividly remember back then when I saw that I got 8 listeners, I was so happy. I was so grateful. Like, I think I'm gonna be a star one day. Like those kind of things. 8 people listen to my podcast. Siguro yung 2 galing sa akin. Pero sabi ko, sino yung 6 na yun? So I kept on going, even though ganun kababa yung listeners ko. And the reason why I kept on going is because there was this one time where someone messaged me and he said, "You don't know me. I don't know you, but you saved me tonight." And when I read that message, I said to myself, that's something that I want to hear every single day. And I promised to myself, I will never, ever look at the numbers. As long as there's one person that listens and might be affected by the things that I'm saying, the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm passionate about, then I'll keep going. And I realized that one soul saved is worth $1 billion pesos. Okay? So again, don't just find your passion, turn your passion into your purpose. Find something you're good at, find something you love doing, and find something that could add value to the world. Okay, so let's go real quick on some practical ways or some things that you could apply right now for you to find your purposeful life. I know that finding your purpose is a heavy, heavy question. And first, before we dive into this, I want to remind you guys that you have your life to figure it out. It's not just finding your purpose that is really sweet. It's also about the journey that you take while you are finding it. I enjoyed so much, the times where I didn't know my purpose in life and I was reading my books in my library and I was starting my podcast back then and no one was listening to me. Those parts of the journey were so freaking exciting and I want you to take part of that. Whatever I honestly believe that life is just, a series of seasons. So if this is a season na mag-aaral tayo, then mag-aaral tayo. If this is a season na maguguluhan tayo sa buhay, then tanggapin natin yon. Maguluhan tayo sa buhay. If this is the season that we need someone to help us out, then let's appreciate that moment. Life is just a series of seasons. And if this is our season, we focus on that. We accept it wholeheartedly. So be patient, okay? If hindi nyo pa mahanap, if masyadong mabigat yung question na yan, okay lang, I'll just keep going. I'll enjoy the process of me getting there and finding out my passion, my purpose. So, what are some ways that you could live a purposeful life? Number one, be a student. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, well, we are I am a student, Kuya Alec. We are studying here, right? So I am a student. Well, I'm not just talking about being a student in school. I'm talking about be a student of life. Look at the people around you. What are they doing right? And what are they doing wrong? What are the books that could add to you becoming a better person? Are you reading self-help books? I get a lot of people come to me and they're coming to me, Alec, I want to be better. So I'm going to ask them, okay, how many books have you read for the past 3 months? They would say, 0. Well, let's start with that. Be a student of life. How can you change your life if you don't know how you're going to change it? How will you get better if you don't know what better is? So be a student of life. Look at the people around you. Be observant. Take down notes. Study them. More importantly, be a stud. No, don't just be a student of life. Be a student of yourself. Write down your thoughts. Write down how you function. Study yourself. Observe yourself. What are the things that you can improve on? What are the things that you need to remove for you to become better, for you to reach your goals in life? Be a student, not just in school, but also in life. Listen to everybody, not just the people that you admire, but also the people that you despise. Watch out for the unsuccessful people, or watch out for the people that watch out for the unsuccessful people, because you'll have a clear point on what doesn't work and make sure that you avoid them in your life. So be a student, not just school, but also outside. Listen to everybody. Approach it na parang kumakain kayo ng tilapia. Kung kumakain kayo ng tilapia. Himayin nyo yung laman and tapon nyo yung tinik. Find out what works for you and throw the others away. Okay? Be a student. Number 2, if you want to live a purposeful life, change your philosophy. And your philosophy is basically your belief and your mindset. Change your beliefs. If you think na hanggang dito lang ang buhay, then I'm telling you na hanggang dito lang ang buhay mo. But if you believe that there is a beautiful and abundant life out there, a very light and loving and kind world, then that's going to be the world that you're going to live in. Grabe pandemic, hindi ba? I'm telling you right now that there's always two sides of the coin. You might focus on the negative things that are happening right now, but there is still love and kindness and peace that are happening in this very moment. Maybe in this moment right now. Maybe it's when you are in the moment na kumakain kayo ng family mo. Maybe it's in the moment na makita mo na healthy and safe ang family mo. Those are some happy stuff. But we tend to focus on the things na ayaw nating mangyari. So, napupunta lahat ng energy natin doon. Change your philosophy. Learn that anything in this life is really possible. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Let me say that again. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. So if iisipin mo na, kaya ko ba maging doktor one day? Ay, hindi ko ata kaya. Then trust me, hindi mo talaga kaya. Till before the battle starts, even before the battle has begun, you've already lost your war. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. I didn't know how I am going to be a speaker, but I know that I can. That I know that it's possible. And life is really weird. When your what and why is clear, your when and how will follow. Doesn't matter if you don't have a plan yet, but if you have your what do you want to achieve? If you have your why do you want to do it? Then the hows and the when will follow. Change your philosophy. Think that you can. Start believing that you can. Start believing that you can change, you can be better, you can live the life that you want to live. Second is, if you want to live a purposeful life, you don't need to be 100% purposeful. You just need to be 1% better. You need to just focus on the 1%, knowing more about yourself 1%. Study more of yourself 1%. Doing the right thing right now 1%. It's in the smallest thing. So kung kahapon hindi ako naligo, siguro ngayon try ko maghilamos man lang. It's the small actions that you take right now that will compound in the future. We always hear this: an apple a day keeps the doctor away. The simple and yet profound saying, which is my favorite as well. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So are you saying that if we just eat an apple a day, hindi kami magkakasakit? Most probably. I'm not saying just an apple. Apple is a metaphorical figure for eating the right things, eating vegetables, eating things that are good for you. Hindi naman sinabi na a milk tea a day keeps the doctor away. Sinabi apple. A hamburger won't kill you, right? Kumain ka isang hamburger ngayon, hindi ka magkakasakit. Pero do it consistently for every single day. Kain ka na isang hamburger ngayon, kain ka bukas sa isang araw, kain dire-diretso. Gawin mo yan for 3 years or 5 years. I am quite sure that you've gained at least 5 kilos and you have heart problems. And you have a lot of diseases as well. And this is where Francis Kong's teaching came in. Sabi niya, whatever you do today will affect your future. Even the smallest things. How you spend your time. Is it something that you really like doing? Are you spending time? Are you spending your energy with people that you really like? Hindi lang yung mga friends mo na kunwaring friends mo? Are you spending time to know that if you're doing this, it will make you happy and healthy in the future? Doing something consistently for the next few years will completely change your life. Pero hindi mo kailangan baguhin lahat ngayon. Focus on the small things. There's this thing called the power of tiny gains. Be 1% better every single day, magiging 38% better ka na. If you read 20 pages every single day sa isang libro, you'll probably read 30 books sa isang taon. If you do 10 push-ups every single day, you'll probably do 3,600 push-ups sa isang taon. Do not try to be 1%, be better agad-agad. Just focus on the 1%. And ang kabaligtaran, if makikita natin, exponential po ang growth natin if we try to be better. Magiging 38% better na tayo sa isang taon lang. Yan pa lang. Paano kung 3 taon ba? Paano kung 5 taon ba? Sobrang galing na natin. Pero kung pipiliin natin yung maling bagay, if we become 1% worse every single day, we'll actually decline from 0.99 magiging 0.03. Next, if you want to find your purpose, always do everything that you're doing with more enthusiasm, with more passion, with more excitement. Always go for the extra mile. So if ang hinihingi sa'yo is makapasa ka man lang, always go for the extra mile. Always try to reach that 100%. I always tell this to the people that I teach. I always tell them, you gotta set goals so high that it scares you. Because if you do that, you will be forced to become the best version of yourself, and you will be forced to do things that you're not used to doing. You're going to give your 110%. So always do the extra mile. If your parents or your instructors, your teachers ask you to do this, always give your 110%. It will show your character. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're always excellent in one thing, you can apply the excellence in the other areas in your life. It will affect the excellence in your relationships, in your career, in your spiritual life. It will be affected. It will affect those. Always go the extra mile. I believe in the law of proportion. The more you spend time on something, so if that's, finding your purpose, mastering your craft, pursuing your passion, the more time that you put into it, the more chances na babalik sa'yo yun. Right? Kung ano yung ibigay mo, yun ang mas babalik sa'yo. You can't expect to, get the fruits of the trees if you haven't even planted it. So plant the seed and water it every single day. And soon you will bear the fruits that you are doing, or you are watering, you're nurturing every single day. Law of proportion. Yan lang pala yun, no? The more time you spend on it, the more chances that will that will win in life. That's it. Another thing, if you want to find your passion, find things na hindi lang po para sa'yo. Again, ang sabi natin sa passion, para sa atin lang. Purpose, we share. Okay? Build the habit of sharing. Imagine you're this glass. Ganyan na yung alam mo sa buhay. Ganyan na yung mga blessings mo. Paano ka pa madadagdagan kung hindi mo siya i-share? Pour it in someone else's cup. Master the art of teaching, sharing what you know, sharing what you've experienced, sharing your insights to the world, to your friends, to your family. Share it. That's the only time that you could pour more water in your cup. Share it. Okay? Your value depends not on what you know, it depends on what you share. Pag binibless tayo ni Lord, tapos ang kamay natin is nakaganyan, pang sa atin lang yung blessings ni Lord, tingin nyo makakatanggap pa tayo ng ibang blessings? Hindi na. Pero when we learn to share, we open our palms and magiging overflowing yung blessings ni Lord. So pag may binigay na knowledge and wisdom si Lord, wag natin pagdadamot. Share natin. And when you share something, you get two things. First is you go through the process of learning it all over again. When you, for example, you read this book, you learn about this math subject, and you really learn that about when you really understand it, share it with other people. You go through the process of learning it all over again, right? Second is you just help another person. Baka dahil sa tinuro mo sa kanya, nakapasa siya. Share what you know. There's room for everybody. Competition is not, it's just for the people na nisip nila na hindi panglahatan ng success. Trust me guys, panglahatan po ang success. Wala pong nag-aagawan sa totoong buhay. In the real world, wala pong nag-aagawan. May pwesto po tayong lahat para maging successful. So share what you know. Not only will you go through the process of learning it all over again, but you can help one person's life. Lastly, have faith. Have faith in the journey. Have faith in yourself. Have faith that whatever you are doing right now will make sense in the future. Always remember that you can only connect the dots moving backwards. So you might not understand why this is happening right now, but give it time, you will see. Have faith in God, in the universe, in yourself, that everything that you are doing will make sense in the future. Have absolute faith. Okay? So that is all for my talk for this morning. I sincerely hope na meron kayong napulot. Kahit isa. Kahit isang lesson lang. Kahit isang idea lang. Meron kayong napulot. But again, thank you so much, Renee, for inviting me here. And to everyone who's organizing this amazing event, thank you so much. Sorry, medyo nag-extend ata ako. But don't worry, I will still be accepting questions if you have any questions. So again, thank you guys so much.